Picture this. You're in front of your latest prospect, closing the biggest deal of your life. Your pitch decks were perfect. Your scripts, flawless. And when the time came to answer the golden question of, are you ready to move forward? Nothing happened. For everyone who loves sales, this is their worst nightmare. But fear not, because in this podcast, we're unraveling the enigma behind those missed opportunities. From appointments that evaporate to presentations that felt like a Broadway show but ended in awkward silence, we're dissecting it all. Welcome to Love Your Sales.
This podcast is presented by GenHead. GenHead leverages AI so small and medium-sized businesses can find their ideal clients to make more sales. Other companies talk about AI, but we are using it every day to drive down marketing costs and increase revenue. Learn more at genhead.com. That's genhead.com.
Welcome to another episode of Love Your Sales. I have Kat Morrow joining me today. Kat has 30 years in sales. She is the former owner and CEO of Robert Hack Diamond, where she spent 20 years there. She is a graduate with a gemologist degree from GIA. Currently, she's the owner and CEO of Kat Morrow, private gemologist specializing in procuring fine diamonds and jewelry, custom designing and jewelry appraising for private clients, and she loves diamonds. Kat, welcome. I'm so excited to have you join me today.
Oh, good morning, Leon. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited for your business and to share my love of jewelry and my love of sales.
Yeah, and I find, well, first, diamonds. I love diamonds. What woman doesn't love diamonds?
Most,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Once in a while, I'll run into someone, but then maybe they love color gems, so that's okay too.
Right. If I had the money, I would turn my my little fake necklace here that I made myself into a real diamond around my neck. But
I can make it happen.
Yeah. For free? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, one day. Hey, one day. So I'm wildly interested in how selling and working in this industry works, because as we were just kind of talking, this is a very different type of sale because there is a lot of emotion associated with sometimes large, well, even small purchases. But let's first talk about, just in general, how do you work with and engage your clients?
Okay. Well, I think the biggest thing is that we have to be authentic in what we do. And so the type of sales that I do, as you mentioned, is very emotional purchase. It's something that people, they want an experience with. It's not just very rarely an impulse buy when they're buying an engagement ring or an anniversary or, for some special occasion, or even buying for themselves personally. They want to, have an emotional attachment. There's a feeling that goes along with that decision because they're buying something of value, of, lasting value that hopefully they're going to enjoy for many, many years and then pass on to someone else and, important in their life. And so, the approach is that, I've always focused on being very relationship focused versus transactional. So this is not a transactional type of sale at all. This is something where you have to, build that trust with the customer. And, maybe you don't make the sale on the first meeting with the client, but if you've taken the time to really learn about them, their interest, it's kind of like really in most type of sales, you have to do a lot of legwork to find out exactly, what's the occasion, what's the purpose, how, I don't even approach budget in the beginning because I really want to find out all about them and the person that they're giving this to, and why they are deciding to gift or purchase jewelry for this particular type of occasion. So that's really important, is just getting to know your client, and they have to know that you really have a direct interest in their life, their purpose, not just what can I sell you. So if that makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense. So, there's a common thread when I talk to, to everybody. It's one, you have to show up, right? And I don't say literally walking in the door and showing up.
Mhm.
You as the salesperson have to show up emotionally, mentally, physically. You have to be there
Mhm.
and then really engage to get this information.
Right.
But it seems to me that there is another layer to this, that, when you walk into a business,
Mhm.
there's very much a gathering of the facts. And that purchase is, while there is emotion involved, they want to have a good, happy feeling when you walk away. There is a factual, does this meet all my boxes? And they're walking away going, okay, let's compare and contrast on a factual, logical
Right.
basis. Whereas I'm not, I'm going to guess, because I've never sold diamonds. I've never sold something that somebody is going to stare at, look at, have, feel,
Mhm.
get a feeling from.
Right.
I'm married. I got my engagement ring. I look at it every day. And
Mhm.
when I look at it, invokes an emotion in me,
Yeah, absolutely.
which means that the person who's buying this from you wants to invoke that emotion.
Right.
So when they're buying it, those boxes are so different. And the experience that they're going through when they're working with you is
Mhm.
not logical the way that most.
Right.
Yes, there is some logic involved. You
Mhm.
you
But
made a
you're
face.
right, but it's more emotional than just, I mean, there is a compare and contrast, especially if
Mhm.
they're buying a particular size or quality diamond or whatever. But in general, it's very more the gut feeling, their intuition, their instinct. Yes.
So how do you play to that? And maybe that's the wrong word. I don't know. How do
Well, no,
you?
I think that's actually, yeah. How do you, kind of hone in on that and capitalize on, getting on that level with them? And, I guess, to back it up a little bit, I have to say that, I'm not an expert in sales, but I know what works for me and what works for my client. And that's through many years of kind of trial and error and perfecting all of that. But I think, the best way to describe it is that you have to go into any interaction with a client, whether it's the type of selling I do or business to business, with 100% passion and confidence in what you're doing. Because if you don't believe in your own product or service, if you don't, believe in yourself that you have, the best ability to present and to deliver to that client, then, you're not going to operate from any kind of integrity or authenticity. So because I love diamonds and jewelry so much, I don't think I could do as well selling, computers or things that don't resonate with me as much. But I've always loved jewelry from like little on. So, that it's like I love my product. I love my diamonds. I love my jewelry. I love looking at them. I love appraising them. I love trying them on. I love putting them on my clients for them to try on, and I love educating them about it. And that's because I have such a deep-seated passion and love for my product and my services. So I think that authenticity comes across to my clients, and then that puts them more of in a relaxed state, because they know that I'm not just trying to sell them anything. I'm trying to sell them the thing that's going to be lighting up their eyes, just like when you look at your engagement ring every day and love that. I want them to, love and cherish their jewelry for many years to come. So that comes from my passion, imparting that onto clients, and then, getting them excited and, bringing in some technical things, but, just trying to keep it fun and asking them, how do you feel? Try this on. How does this make you feel? How do you look in this? What do you think? And so, it's quite different than, like I said, the transactional of doing business to business. You got to keep the conversation going. You have to keep it very, very personal, and, but knowing your boundaries, obviously. But I think the more clients trust you, the more they're going to open up to you. So I think we're all natural born salespeople, believe it or not. Some people say, oh, I don't know how to sell, or I don't love selling. But when you think about it, we're all salespeople. We sell ourselves every day in so many different situations. And so when you're focused in on working with a client and, whatever business you're in, you have to realize that you do this every day. You are a salesperson every day. And so now you're just bringing that culmination of all your knowledge and experiences and care and concern for your customers, to find the best thing for them. So I think once they know that, then it's easy for them to kind of let down their guard a little bit and share, what is motivating them to buy. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. And I got completely wrapped up in what you were saying, because it's just listening to you, and I can tell and see the passion that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's and if you're just listening to this podcast, I mean, if you jump on and you watch, this right now, the clip of Kat talking about her passion for, for diamonds and jewelry, it's amazing. I can see it in the way that you're talking about it. It's unbelievable. There's no denying how much you enjoy what you do. And I'm going to guess that comes out, I'm ready to buy. What do you have?
Yeah. Well, you know what you have.
I mean,
you talked earlier about preparing yourself too, coming into the right mindset. Now, that just doesn't mean, mentally preparing yourself like, okay, I know my products, I know my services. You have to physically, emotionally, and spiritually prepare yourself as the salesperson. You have to, show up in a certain way, because let's face it, there are competitors out there, and that's okay. We all actually can be, motivated by having a little competition too. Mm-hmm. But if you don't show up, with joy, with energy, with life in your voice, with just looking your best, okay? And that doesn't mean that we always have to wear the most expensive things or be in the best physical shape or whatever. But if you've put in some effort to make yourself show up in the best possible light to your customer, that sets you apart from your competition right there. And they feel like if you've taken the time to put that much care into yourself, to mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally prepare yourself, then they're going to take care of, they feel like I'm going to take care of them in the same way, if that makes sense to you. Is that I want to share my space with them and pull them into that as well. So
Absolutely. I mean, there have been people who I've walked away feeling bad that I can't buy from somebody because they've put forth so much effort and
Right.
they've done such an amazing job at the presentation or the pitch or
Right.
and it's not even the presentation or pitch. Well, it is. It is. You just don't realize that it's their pitch, which is
Right.
when you realize that you're sitting across the table from somebody who is the greats.
Mhm.
When you've been pitched and you go, wait a second, did they just completely and totally pitch me? And I want to buy
Right.
from them, and that's when you know that you're sitting across the table from somebody who has reached a level beyond
Right.
great.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I mean, everything in you goes, I want to buy from this person and I'm going to find a way to do it. And then you walk away, and eventually when you either can buy or when you do buy, the only person you think of is
Right.
that person.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. I can't tell you how many of my clients become my friends, like my family, because we do connect on such a deeply personal level because of the emotion in this type of buying. And it's joyful, because then I know they're going to refer people to me, or I'm going to get future business out of them or whatever. And I've been in that situation too, where I've maybe not been in a position where I could buy from someone that I connected with, like you just described, but then maybe you refer someone to them, you
Right.
just give them a good review, or you do something to reward them for, being such an exceptional person. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I love the name of your company, which is Love Your Sales, because if you love your sales, that's another way of saying love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself and what you're doing and your product, and you don't believe in yourself, you cannot project yourself properly to your customers. So you've got to love the industry you're in, the business that you're in. I mean, even if I always tell people we are all CEOs, like sometimes they'll say, what do you mean? I don't own a business, but we're the CEOs of ourselves.
Hmm.
We are our own brand. And so, what is the brand that you're presenting to your clients? And what I'm presenting to my clients is, that I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that they're happy, the gift giver is, or the gift receiver is happy, and I'm going to go out and procure something for them like I was doing it for myself or for my own family, because each person is important to me. And it doesn't matter if they're spending, and this is key too, you have to treat the person that's spending $1,000 the same as you would treat the person who's spending $30,000, because you don't know that they couldn't refer someone to you that's going to buy something more expensive or whatever. But to me, it's like part of that relationship building. That $1,000 customer, that's as important a sale to them as it is for the person who's buying something more expensive. So to me, it's no difference. I'm treating everybody with the same level. And I have to tell you, I don't like the expression under promise and over deliver. That's kind of, like a mainstay, just under promise. And then when you deliver, great, they're really going to be grateful. No, you promise at the level that you know that you can deliver. I never under promise. I mean, if I can over promise and I'm already up here, that's great, but I never under promise. Like, I know what my value is and my worth is, and the product and the service that I can deliver. So I set my expectations super high. And then if I go over and above that, then that's a job well done. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
Now you made a comment that and here's something, the referral. You treat the customer who buys $1,000 the same as you treat a customer that buys $30,000. And this is
Right.
something that I often hear, like in networking, and people who will be selective in who they talk with or meet with or schedule their time with, which I can
Mhm.
understand people who,
Right.
but here's something that you, with what you said, it is vitally important that treating everybody, a customer, a buying customer, a non-buying customer, and this, I'm going to refer back to, I was at a networking meeting and somebody goes, well, the Mary Kay lady said that she wanted to do a one-on-one with me. Why would I meet with the Mary Kay lady? And I'm like, because the Mary Kay lady knows absolutely everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And she will introduce you like to everybody. She's a master networker. In fact, she could be sitting in front of the wife of the CEO of the largest company in Milwaukee.
Right.
And I can't stand it when people discount others for
Mm-hmm.
what they think they're valued at.
Right.
And it absolutely drives me wild.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, scheduling your time. We can't meet with everybody. We still
Right.
have to do the work. But
Yeah.
the idea that a salesperson would discount somebody's value without ever taking the time to get to know somebody, that is vitally important to your success
Right.
and could ultimately, damage you
Right.
if you are discounting people because you are choosing or saying that outright that, well, that person's only going to spend $50. Why
Right.
would I want to waste my time? Because that person who spends $50 could have or could know somebody that could spend $100,000.
Right. Well, it's a
And
person who doesn't value relationship building, then they're looking strictly for the here and now, and that's short-term gain and long-term loss. So
right. And so I love that you made the point to say, I
totally.
I treat each customer the same.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter, because that is the key to having your referral base. And trust me, I'm not a $30,000 buyer. I am your 1,000, your 1,000 to $3,000 buyer
Right.
who's like, but that doesn't mean that I don't have friends who
Yeah.
have $50,000 rings on their finger.
Right.
And, again, and this goes back to uh, having an army of people out there that when they say, oh, I'm considering buying a gift for somebody, or especially of a certain age, if you have, a whole bunch of people in the late 20s, early 30s, is that the general marriage age now? I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, actually, yeah, mid to late 20s for engagements,
Yeah,
been into early 30s. It's a little later than it used to be.
it,
Yeah.
it is. It is later than it used to be. You have a whole ton of referrals in that age range.
Right.
I mean, even if you just have 30 people that you made really happy, they refer one person, that person refers a second person, then refers a second person, refers a that could make or break your year.
Oh, yeah. And you have to always reward those people that refer to you in some way or another. It doesn't always have to be a gift card, or, it has to be at least a thank you, a call to say, hey, that's really awesome that sent someone over to me. You've got to acknowledge that, um, and then make sure that you follow up with all those referrals and those leads. I mean, the key is in, just, staying not hovering over people, but you've got to reach out, and you've got to stay in contact with people and things like that, and have proper follow through. But always think those people that are referring to you, they're golden. Some of my best referrals have been from smaller sales, or people that I haven't even charged for anything, that I've done things just gratis, because whatever, I didn't feel it was appropriate to charge because it was a quick thing, or something. And it seems like I get great referrals and Google reviews from those type of people that are just happy that they thought that their purchase or their referral or their question was small, but it wasn't small to me. It's all important because they didn't know the answer to the question, and I did. And so I was happy to be able to provide that service or that information to them. So,
Right.
you
And sometimes that is the most important thing. Somebody comes to you and you're like, oh, I can help you with that. And you quickly, it takes you 10 minutes. It would have taken them 2 hours.
right.
And they are completely grateful for your help. And they go and give you a review because of something that you didn't
Right.
even think of. Like you were like, oh yeah, I can get you that information, or I can help you with that really quick. And for you, because you're in your industry,
Mhm.
it's you don't even think like, oh yeah, I can. And all of a sudden for them, it means the world.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they turn around and they're like, oh my God, that she saved me like
Right.
3 hours or 4 hours of research and floundering around. And that happens to me all the time, where I'll reach out to somebody and I'm like, I'm completely, a perfect example. I was trying to legally change my business name. I had
Okay.
been working on it for a month.
Okay.
And I talked to a tax accountant and he goes, here's what you do. I went,
Nice.
followed his instructions. It took me 15 minutes.
There you go.
I'm like, what I've been working on this
I
for
know.
and it was like, oh, well, this was really easy. It's like, because there are people out there who know, like,
Mhm.
they just know that's their area of genius.
Right. And so they're happy to gift you with that. And, you'll remember that person,
Right.
and refer clients to that particular accountant. Absolutely.
Correct. He specializes in business, you know, in that particular area of businesses, and he understands how all of that stuff works. And I was like, well, maybe I should have just gone and asked somebody. Like, and those are the things that make or break businesses, of
Right.
being able to gift information that
Right.
become. Now, Kat, how much of your business is referral?
Well, I would say a good percentage now. When I had the jewelry store, when I owned the jewelry store, I did a lot of advertising, traditional television, radio, newspaper way back when, because we were talking about in the 90s and early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And so um, I relied a lot on people walking through the door. But now that I have my, private business, I don't have a physical store location. I work in person with people online. And so a lot of my business, I would say at least 50% of it comes from, referrals or former clients. And, I still do social media. I still do, events where I do vendor tables at country clubs. I hold trunk shows. I try to do different things to get my name out there. This is a perfect example, doing this podcast, which I'm so appreciative of. But I'm trying to show people that there's a different way of doing business, especially since COVID, so many things went remote.
Mm-hmm.
And there were actually a lot of jewelers who closed their stores and went to more of a, private by appointment like I do.
Right.
But I feel like now I can even focus in a little better on my clients because I'm not so scattered running all these aspects of my business administratively.
Mm-hmm.
And I can focus just on the relationships with my clients and finding the best, products and services for them. And so, and I can offer it at a smarter spend, because I don't have all that overhead and I don't have all that, kind of stress and chaos going on. And so I think because I deliver that real personalized attention, people are loving giving me those referrals. So, and I'm so appreciative of that.
Well, that's amazing. And we're coming to time. So here's your,
Yeah.
shameless 30 seconds. How do people reach out to you? Again, your business name, give all of the short and skinny on if somebody does want to schedule
Sure.
an appointment with you, go ahead and give us that information.
Well, I always invite people to visit my website, because I think it's a really great, informative website. It's katmorrow.com, basically my name, KATMORROW, katmorrow.com. On there, you can chat with me. You can schedule an appointment on my calendar with me. You can at least see all the different services and things that I offer and the products. And I would say, I don't care what your question is, what your need is, let me try to help you with all of your jewelry needs, whether it's, buying a diamond, selling something, because sometimes you get jewelry that you inherited. You don't even know if it's real or not. I can help you go through that. I can help you sell it. There's a lot of different services as a gemologist that I can do. So, or my phone number. You can call me at 414-403-8700. But all that information is on my website. So just go there, and I'm happy to chat.
Amazing. Kat, again, your insight has been so much appreciated. I really appreciate you coming on today. It's been an awesome conversation.
Well, I appreciate you, Leanne. Thank you for doing what you do and giving me this opportunity. And, I hope that it helps someone, maybe just one little thing is triggered in their mind. And, if anybody's in the sales industry that wants to connect with me also, just to, so we can kind of share, because I'm learning from other people too. You're never too old to learn. I've always been a curious cat, I say, because I'm open and I want to learn more things too. So I'm appreciative of connecting with other people in sales as well.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us for Love Your Sales. For more, connect with Leanne on LinkedIn and be sure to subscribe to the show and leave us a rating and review. We'd love to hear what you think. Looking for a way to take your sales process to the next level? Visit us at loveyoursales.com to find out more about how Leanne can take your organization to new revenue heights. And be sure to join us next time for more great ways to love your customers so they love your sales.